Injuries, boredom, and guess what, guys? Mere boredom. It is your 28th of July. So, this is your 28th Smackdown, not your 28th of July Smackdown review. We had the number one contendership with more Bloodline stuff, and let's see the Bloodline stuff. We'll get to it like when we get to it, but it is just the same old. Seeing the Attitude Era, like, this Bloodline thing's probably been one of the few good things happening in WWE in the past few years, but seeing the Attitude Era, man, when you had storylines like people getting wung off bridges or crucifixed or run over or written off, thrown off stages, like the blood, it just seems to be talking in the ring. That's all it is. Like, when's anything actually happened outside? Like, they talk about all the whole Samoan thing. Why couldn't we get elements of, like, we see, like, the tribal Samoans or something, whatever, man, back in Samoa? Like, remember Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw? When Roman Reigns and The Rock, like, teamed up and they were doing their fucking Samoan shit? Can we not get something like that? I just feel like it's so cookie cutter, man, and it's like, oh, people like the Bloodline here, so we're just going to repeat the same shit over and over again. And yeah, but I mean, I said that's how the Bloodline stuff was earlier on, but we go to the ring, Mike Room, main event, Jey Uso, and he's already in the ring, and guess what? He's interrupted by the Bloodline. It's just the same old shit. Roman Reigns, Solo, they're all pointing up. They're doing the one. The fans are shouting. Uso, Roman Reigns is lifting his title up. Reigns says to Jey, "You must have forgot I was appearing tonight." But guess what, Roman? I think we all forgot you were appearing tonight because it was not referenced in one thing. And we even said in the promo, the preview, for this show, that if they don't mention that Roman Reigns is appearing, then it's most likely that he's not appearing. Goes on to talk about, you broke the family, Roman, and now I've got to do what I've got to do. He blames Jimmy Uso's injury on Reigns. Reigns dismisses this idea and says how last time Jimmy was injured, you were pushed to the moon, buddy. You were pushed to the moon. He says, guess what? When the Usos will not longer exist, because when I beat you, Jey, you will be wiped off the face of this earth. And he says, no longer part of history. So, who knows what's going to happen here, if we're being honest. It's just, Jey ends up touching Roman Reigns' neck. He looks in his eyes, I'm going to beat you. And then he walks off to the back. So, I mean, I guess you could say it didn't result in a super kick party. It didn't result in a Samoan spike to Jey Uso's neck. But at the same time, it just feels far too familiar. Why can't we get segments like backstage? And like, yeah, we do get the odd one where they're sitting in like Roman Reigns' office. But I'm talking about other shit, man. Be a bit more creative with this. It just feels so fucking lazy. Like, it's a problem I've had with Brock as well. Like, see these part-time guys? Like, each time they come back, it just feels like the same shit. Like, at least when Brock was doing the comedy stuff with Zayn, it felt different. Honestly, like, see when Hollywood Rock was part-time and he was coming back, man, he was doing different shit, different, like, tag teamings, and, you know, it's infuriating, damn it. We then have Santos Escobar taking on big Rey Mysterio. Austin Aerie is in the crowd, which is kind of funny. And Michael Cole says, look, Austin Fury's with all his friends. Turns out he has no friends. Grayson Waller also told Jey Uso backstage that he will lose. We have this match. It's an alright match, but of course there's one big talking point that happened in this match. Rey Mysterio ends up getting injured. Santos Escobar goes for a suicide dive, but it's one of those suicide dives where like you jump and then you end up pushing the guy on the outside. And pretty much what happens is what Rey hits the floor. And then after this point, it's all over for Rey Mysterio. They call the extra in the break. He gets a check. So he gets some form of whiplash. I hope a concussion or something. I hope he's alright. It didn't look like a work to me. I guess time will only tell with that, really. I mean, we don't really know for sure about what really happened. I mean, but to me, it looked legit. I think for most people, it looked legit. If you looked on Twitter, it was basically full of, oh, Rey Mysterio, hope he gets better. Blah, blah, blah. But of course, this means Santos Escobar wins by referee stoppage. After the bell, we do see Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar hugging. It's okay, boy. Well, then camera then pans to Austin Theory. He is in the skybox. So is Escobar and Theory happening at SummerSlam? Actually, no, it's not, because the title is taking place in 2 weeks. Why can't the US title get a fucking shot at SummerSlam? Honestly, it's a joke. Kayla Braxton is backstage with Bianca Belair. She talks about facing WWE's Women's Champion Asuka and Charlotte Flair at SummerSlam. It's just a lot of boring shite. We'll see what happens tonight. Who really cares? Flair's like, I'm going to speak to Adam Cole and get the match made. We then come back from the break. Hit Row is in the ring. We do have Top Dollar, B-Fab, and Ashanti Diadonis. They get interrupted by LA Knight. LA Knight's brilliant on the mic. This guy deserves better. And this whole gimmick of they're waiting to after SummerSlam to push him. Why not give him a SummerSlam worthy fucking match? No, I'd have done Grayson Waller against LA Knight. Two guys they're almost at the peak of their powers without actually being at the peak of their powers because they're not getting the spot. I know one of them has to lose, but Jesus Christ, the promo would be brilliant. And WWE just drops every fucking wrestling shite. Honestly, any jobber in the street could book wrestling better than the way it's getting booked, but it is what it is. LA Knight, of course, wins this match. There's really no excuses for him not to win this match. We then have Jey Uso and Adam Pearce. They're backstage. Grayson Waller, he wants to face Jey Uso. So Jey Uso's like, well, looks like Jey Uso's going to face Grayson Waller. Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green take on Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair. Of course, the whole dynamic of this match is, Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair, they're not going to be able to get along in this match. But of course, this isn't for the tag title, so Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair won. And I tell you what, right, if you wanted to make these tag titles feel a bit more relevant, how much better would it have been? Even though I strongly dislike Bianca Belair and Charlotte Flair, like, how much better of a dynamic would that have been if those two held the tag titles going into SummerSlam to take on Asuka in the Charlotte Threat match? Yeah, that's what I would have preferred, but guess what, guys? That's not what we're going to get, because God forbid we get that. Bailey is talking with Sky backstage, basically about, you're going to have to cash in. Asuka's like, Sky, if you're going to cash in at SummerSlam, we're going to have problems, amigo. So, who really knows? Who really cares? Bailey then tells Sky, he's like, you're going to do it at SummerSlam, big man. We come back from a break, and it's a SummerSlam Battle Royal is announced, featuring Raw and SmackDown superstars. LA Knight then confronts Adam Pearce. He goes, why am I not on the SummerSlam card? And, what is going on? And LA Knight says, you need to right that wrong and put me in the Battle Royal. It's just fucking, it's a disgrace what's happening to LA Knight. I mean, it's even like the fact he's trying to put over the fact that he wants in this Battle Royal. Of course he doesn't want in this Battle Royal, man. Just sucks. Adam Pearce then puts him in the Battle Royal, and then he gets interrupted by Sheamus, so it looks like we're going to get LA Knight against Sheamus next week in a singles match with Jey Uso being slabbered about by Grayson Waller. Grayson Waller talking about the fact that he is going to beat Jey Uso, and Jey Uso is nothing more than the bitch of the bloodline, generic shit like that. We then have Karrion Kross against Carl Anderson. Why? And I mean, why is this match happening in 2023? Like, this match shouldn't be happening any year, but these guys are just not relevant. They all suck. Nothing good to say. Honestly, it's just absolute fucking garbage. Just fucking two bums, man. People wonder why wrestling's dead. Look at this match on fucking an edition of SmackDown. It is absolutely shite, and we kind of guessed it. Karrion Kross was going to win, because who the hell loses to Carl Anderson in 2023? I mean, probably just his bloody autistic tag team partner in Luke Gallows. I just do not care for this. Karrion Kross wins, guys. I'm moving on. I have nothing to say about that in the slightest. We see Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns backstage. What are they doing? We have Grayson Waller taking on Jey Uso. Jey Uso does win this match. And that gets me. Why couldn't, right, Grayson Waller have won? Because the Bloodline's distracted Jey Uso and Waller one-way roll-up. And before anyone goes, but that makes Jey Uso look weak. It doesn't. People used to get beat by fucking roll-ups all the time, like me and the Fenters. And here we are, we can't even do it. It's just like, it protects Waller, man. The guy's had so many fucking... He's had so many main roster matches now and he hasn't got a win. It's a fucking disgrace. After the match, Jey Uso then gets beat up by the Bloodline. Do I give a fuck at this point? No. They just ruined everything. Honestly, Grayson Waller should have won. LA Knight should have a prominent role at SummerSlam. But that's your SmackDown. It was better than last week, so I'll give it a 2 out of 10. But I mean, no wonder people don't watch wrestling these days, man. If this wasn't my job, I'd have fucking stopped watching it a long time ago.